But now coming up, we're very honored to, she's going to discuss the research and development efforts in Slovenia. She's a plant breeder, project leader at the Slovenian Institute of Hop Research and Brewing. That's fantastic. Let's hear it for Assistant Professor Andreja Čerenak.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to give a short speech about our work. Yes, I'm coming from the institute, which was already named. My field of work is plant breeding. So, as the name is of the institute, we are developing hop varieties. And now in the last years, we are working on cannabis research as well. It's an honor to talk about the research and development efforts in the field of cannabis in Slovenia, and why it is, let's say, why it was the topic of our institute to work on it, because hop and hemp are the closest relatives. They're both coming, the species, from Cannabaceae family. They have a lot of common things, but opposite as well. And I can say that cannabis is really even more interesting because of some plant traits. It can be done much faster and giving a lot of results in a shorter way than, let's say, hop as a perennial plant. So plant breeding is one of the main topics at the institute. We have developed, so I'm working for more than 25 years in the field of research and plant breeding, and we have developed more than, let's say, 10, 15, I'm not sure, varieties which are now covering our hop fields in Slovenia. We are using different classical and biotechnical approaches together with University from Ljubljana, biotechnical faculty. We are developing really high-tech work and methods which can be used in our breeding program. Slovenia is the fifth in the world looking for, if we are focused on hop acreage per country. Even if we are so small, we are on the fifth place. And we are exporting 98% of our crops. So the first question is why could not be the same with the medical cannabis? It can be the same. Because we can produce and we can export, even if we are so small, and if we cannot drink so much of beer, we can export our hops. So it is the same case with medical cannabis as well. And 89%, so the same percentage of our Slovenian hop fields are covered with our Slovenian hop varieties, which were developed at our institute. So this is really an opportunity for hemp grown in Slovenia. We are also tightly connected with the, let's say, experts in the group of Prime Minister to do the, let's say, as much as possible, good legislation based ground for working in medical growing, medical cannabis growing and research, of course. What are our fields of interest? So I'm coming from the research, which is linked more to the agriculture. So the first is agriculture science and research. Very close to the agriculture is environment, so we want to be as sustainable as possible. And hemp and cannabis are giving all these possibilities. Of course, medicines, which is not our topic, veterinary medicine, cosmetics as well, and construction industry. So therefore, we met some time ago with the Talman group, so we realized that we have the same fields of interest. So there were a lot of business opportunities, private-public partnerships. So I'm coming from the public institute, but nevertheless our budget is almost 1/2 of it is coming from the market. So there's a difference comparing to the, let's say, universities or faculties. So we very quickly find that we have some common things which can be gathered in the cannabis consortium. So this consortium was established. We name it CONCAN, so Consortium of Cannabis, and we are including a lot of different faculties from both universities, so from Maribor and Ljubljana, different companies which are working in the field of cannabis, research business or whatever. And what are our main topics? So agriculture, environment, sustainability and medicine. We are looking for different kinds of applications which can be used. Collaboration, as I mentioned, between different Slovenian scientific research organizations and companies. And what is our main topic is to develop really innovative products from different medical, biotechnology, and new breeding approaches. So this is one of our, let's say, working field with the Talman Group. Few years ago we started, let's say, our PhD thesis, and so the colleague has finished her PhD in the last year. It was done together with the University of Ljubljana, Biotechnical Faculty and Faculty of Pharmacy. So we have just working on outdoor hemp varieties, and we were selecting between 3 varieties, different chemotypes and genotypes. So because these are population varieties, you can find different plants inside the same population. So we were looking for the different chemotypes, and we found out some really interesting plants in the same varieties, which can have, let's say, perhaps higher CBD, higher CBG, and they're really potential to develop new varieties with the new projects. Probably could be founding of the Ministry of Agriculture very supporting. The third let's say, team is our institute is working with one German-Czech company together with the Faculty of Pharmacy and PharmaMed. So we have the allowance to work in indoor to develop high THC varieties. These are some of our photos. So we are let's say, using first molecular markers to distinguish between male-female plants. Then we are using our lab. We have the chemical lab of accredited for some analysis, and there we are doing different chemical analysis of essential oils, cannabinoids, which can be used later for different pharmacy or products or in medical uses. Of course, everything is indoor, protected, and so our main goals are, of course, as all plant varieties, to have high yield, high quality yield. And here in this case, we are looking for high THC varieties, high CBD, and the other cannabinoids. And we are all, everything is done in accordance with the GAP and GACP quality systems compliant with EMA guidelines for hemp. We are using now in this later procedures feminization, of course, to have the just female, so that the seeds which will be sown can have just, it will be just female plants. We are doing, of course, cuttings. We are using tissue culture to conserve the genotypes. And we are doing, as I mentioned, different kind of analysis, all for this to, let's say, develop candidate varieties with high content of specific metabolites, which can be used further, as I mentioned, in medical or pharmacy purposes. What are the advantages and opportunities of medical cannabis? As we all know here, it can be really one of Slovenian exporting crop. As I mentioned, we are exporting 98% of our hops. So then it is incredible when we get the reply from the Ministry of Health that we can just have, let's say, a few grams of medical cannabis in Slovenia, because there are just few patients and we don't need more than just few grams of it in Slovenia. So this is really something ridiculous, especially if we are looking to just do a simple comparison with the hop industry, which gives it is the biggest exporting agriculture crop, and it gives the first marks. So after the Second World War, the first foreign money income in Slovenian, or in that time Yugoslavian parliament. So what are the advantages? So we have the great opportunity and contribution to the economy, increased funds in the state budgets. We can prevent the black market activity, as it was mentioned before, and of course. It can be all done under controlled conditions with, of course, strict regulation, but clever enough that it cannot stop the business opportunities. What are now current shortcomings based on our knowledge? It's really ridiculous that we have to destroy all of products which are developing in our indoor activities. It could be used for different, at least research things, Now we have to destroy all flowers with different cannabinoids and different essential oil compounds, because it's prohibited to use our plant material even in research and medical purposes. And we have a limited number of plants which can be grown. So we are looking forward to change our law and to start something more in positive way. So to sum up, if Slovenia holds a leading position in the global hop industry, and if we have really distinguishing hop varieties which were developed at our institute, we have really the top experts at our institute in some field of work in the global and worldwide scale. There is really good establishment at our institute. So we have hop varieties, we have plant patent in the United States for one of them. Numerous of them are protected at the European region. And so all these methods, investments which were done in hop industry can be really similarly used for cannabis research and development from our institute. So to conclude with this, Slovenia stands ready to become a world-class research and development hub for the cannabis sector as well. Thank you very much.
Questions? Who's got a question? We have time for questions. You've learned everything. Oh, there. Thank you. I thought maybe she'd talk to you.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. You said your products are male and female. So I want to know, do you do some research on both of them, or just female, or do you do research on male plants too?
Yeah, it's the same with the hop plant as well. We also have female and male plants there, and in both cases we are using just female plants to getting crop. So it is interesting because half of the, let's say, heredity is coming from the male plants as well. And when we make crossing between female and male plants, it's the same importance of the male plants as well. But unfortunately, because of limited space and money and everything, we cannot focus our time and knowledge to the male plants. We are more focused on the selection of female plants. But yeah, the male plants are still there, which we have to analyze and look of them as well.
Great. Is there another question? I have a question. Is it possible to make a cannabis that tastes like beer?
The cannabis which tastes like beer. We have the beer which tastes like cannabis.
Oh, that's,
already.
That's even better. We could do both. Yeah. It'd be fantastic. Is there more questions? Man, everyone's so efficient today.
Yeah, it's the fact of the weather, probably. Nice sunny weather. Thank you very much.
Let's hear it for Professor Andreja Čerenak. Thank you so much. This is the ICBC Slovenia Science and Technology Forum right here in lovely Lake Bled, Slovenia. It's fantastic. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Laurel Crest. We'd also like to thank our party sponsor, Metaflora. That's at the hotel that shall not be named. Or it should be named, but it's hard to pronounce. No, it's not.